Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris. Today I'll be guiding you on how to download and install the SQL Server. SQL is a powerful relational database management system developed by Microsoft. It allows you to securely store and manage your large amount of data. In this video, I'll be showing you how to install my SQL Server and my SQL Workbench in your Windows computer step by step. So the first thing you need to do is to use your favorite browser. Here I'm going to be using my Google Chrome. Just come here and type download my SQL. Hit on enter, then it's going to bring you to this page. So you need to click on this first link, mysql.com. Just click on it, and it's going to bring you to the official Microsoft MySQL page. This is the community. This is the MySQL community page. You can read about the documentation. You can read about development zone. This is the page itself. Then here we are just going to focus on the download. That's what we're here for. So you need to scroll down to the bottom. You're going to see my SQL community GPL download. Inside my SQL community download, you're going to see all of these options, but you need to scroll down to this last one here that says my SQL installer for Windows. You need to install it, click on it. Now it's going to bring you to this my SQL community installer page. Then you need to check out the version here in the select version page. This was the previous version and this is the current version now. In the future, there is going to be an advanced version, which is going to be 9 point or 10 point something, but currently the highest version is 8.0.39, and this is what we're going to be installing. So the next you need to choose, by default is already on Windows because we're installing it for Windows, not for Mac. So you can see it is on Windows. You leave it the way it is. So here you have two options to install the Windows 32-bit MIS installer, and it is the same thing here. Here you have it to be 2.1 megabytes and it is 303.6 megabytes here. But the difference here is that this is for the web version. As you can see, my SQL installer web community, and this is my SQL installer community, and this is what you want, my SQL installer community. So you click on this second one to start the download. Now, this is going to prompt you to log in or to create an account, but you really don't need to do that. Just come down here that you see no thanks, just start my download. Click on it, and you're going to see your download is going to start. See, it started downloading. So wait for it to finish downloading.
A few moments later.
Now the downloading has completed and I'm going to go to my download. I have now in my download, this software has been successfully downloaded into my system. So the next thing I need to do is to simply double click on it to install. I'll double click. Then it's going to start the installation wizard. This is the administrative task. It's just going to ask you, do you want to allow this app to make changes to you? Of course, click on yes. And then again, it will ask you, do you want to allow this app from an unknown publisher? Yes. This is just the installer wizard. It's kind of the just some administrative, permissions. So you click on yes. Then it's going to launch the installation properly. As you can see, my SQL installer 1.6 is currently installing. Then it's going to bring you to this choose setup type page where you need to choose the setup type you want to use. So here we want to use a custom setup type. So click on the custom setup type, then click on next. So you need to select the products that you want, because remember I told you we are going to be installing the MySQL server and the MySQL Workbench. Those are the products we need, but there are more products in here. So let's see what they have in here. You're going to click on this MySQL server, then you're going to expand it further to see MySQL server 8.0, and then you see going to expand it further again, then you see my SQL server 8.0.29, which is the version we're installing for 64-bit operating system. So you need to make sure your system is 64-bit operating system, and to do that, simply go to your system's search bar here, just type on setting, just type setting here, then it's going to click you on your system setting. Click on setting, it's going to bring you here, then click on systems. Then scroll down to the about page and click on about. Right here, you can see that your system is 64-bit operating system. If yours is 32-bit, you're going to see it here, but I believe it is 64-bit. So we go back to the installation wizard. So we click on this 61-bit, then push it to this product to be installed. Then the next thing, we want to click on the application. Yeah, this is where we're going to find the workbench that we need. Then we click on here, click on this my SQL workbench, expand it. Then it's going to expand to the bench 8. You need the 64-bit server as well. So here you have my SQL workbench 8.038 64-bit. So this is what you need. Click on it, then push it into this table of the product you're going to install. So next, you look at this my SQL shell. Now we don't need my SQL shell because the GUI, the graphic interface unit that we're going to be using is inside this my workbench. Of course, you're going to be writing your queries inside the workbench, so it's going to give you, you don't need a shell, you don't need this shell. But however, if you want me to do a video on how to install and use the shell, then you can as well drop a comment and I'll see it. Okay, so but for now we are fine with just these two products. Then we're going to click on next to move to the next page. So here you can see that we've selected these two products and that's what is going to be installed. Then we are going to click on execute. When we execute, it's going to run this installation for the both products in our system. So as you can see, I just click on execute, and this my SQL server is currently installing. After installing, my SQL workbench is going to start installing in our Windows. So let's wait for that to be completed. So guys, both files have been successfully installed. We're going to click on next to continue, and it's going to bring us to this page where it's going to run the configuration for my SQL server. Then you click on next to continue. So it is simply going to want you to just take note of this port number. This is the port number it's going to be using to complete this installation. You remember that SQL is a relational database management system. So this is like a communication protocol. It's going to be using this particular port to communicate. All right. So you just need to note this. You don't need to change anything here. Just leave everything at the default. But this is like the network type of network you want to choose. So it's chosen. So it's going to be using the TCP slash IP to as a network type, as a communication model that is going to be using for to operate. All right. So we're just going to need to click on the next. Then it's going to bring you here where you need to add an authentication. You need a level of authentication so that because remember in the definition of my SQL, I told you it securely stores and manages your data. All right. So this is where you're going to add that security. So you need to use a strong password or you can use legacy authentication method. But Microsoft has really recommended this one, this use strong password, and that is the one we're going to be using. So it means you're going to be creating a password that you're going to be using to log into your MySQL. So just click on next, leave it on this recommended, then leave it on this strong password, then click on next. So here you need to enter the password you want to use. So you need to choose a strong password and make sure you always remember your password. Okay, so use something you can always remember. So I've already inserted my password. So just type it in here and then repeat the same password here, then click on next. So the Windows service configuration here is just going to use this as the name of the Windows service. All right. So you can change it to any name you want, but I'm fine with this. It really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Then the run Windows service as standard system account. We don't want custom, right? So just leave it as standard Windows accounts. So it is recommended that you pick the standard system account, all right, not custom user. So we're just going to leave it at default, then click on next. So here is a system server file permission. My SQL installer can secure the server data directly by updating the permission of files and folders located in. This is the drive where it's going to save this installation. All right. So yes, you want to grant it access. I think you just need to give it a full access. Okay, just leave it on, give it a full access. Then click on next. So it needs to run a configuration. It needs to apply all of these settings you've selected. You need to apply them one by one. All right. So we need to allow it to write configuration file, update Windows firewall, adjust, and all of these things. So to do that, all you need to do is just to click on execute, and then it will start running all of these things. So you just wait for it to complete before you continue.
A few moments later.
Yeah, guys, everything is complete. Uh, has applied all the configurations, and we just need to hit on finish. And here the SQL server needs configuration is completed. As you can see, product configuration, everything here is complete. So you just hit on next. Then it's just asking you to, the installation is complete now, but it's just asking you to launch. Do you want it to launch automatically when you're complete with this installation? All right. So we want you to do that. If you don't want it to start automatically, you want to go and launch it by yourself, then you can uncheck this. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it works after installation. So I want it to start up automatically, and I'm just going to hit on finish. So now you're going to see it is launching that MySQL that you've installed. So we're just going to wait for a while. You can see it has successfully launched. This is my SQL. Guys, this is amazing. So we now have SQL installed in our system. Say welcome to my SQL. So we are just going to launch it and open just to see how it looks, see how to use it, the get into the GIU and write some queries and see how the whole query system. Though I'm not going to be teaching you how to write queries here or to use it, in subsequent videos, we are going to be doing a lot of that, a lot of SQL. There are going to be tons of SQL videos in this channel. So you may want to subscribe if you're new or if you're interested in learning more about SQL. All right. So if you work as a data analyst, a database administrator, if you're a database engineer, a data scientist, then you may want to, pay attention to this. So I'm just going to launch it, click on my local instance, my SQL. You see that name that we didn't change? This is the name our SQL is. All right, so I'm just going to click on this and it's going to prompt me to put in the password. All right, so I'll just put in the same password. We don't want always, we don't want it to keep asking us put this password all the time. So you want to just select this button and then click on OK. Then you're going to log you in. So guys, we are in this place. This is it. So you can just drag this, just drag it to this point. And this is your GIA. This is where you write your queries and all that. So let's just write a quick query. Let's create a database. So I'm just going to say create database. What's the name of the database? Let's call it customer. And then let's run it. When you want to run, just highlight it, then click on this. Down here you can see that create database customer has just been run on this SQL server, and everything works. It took just 0.16 seconds to run, and this is the time and all of that. So we can just go ahead and create tables, do whatever we want to do and all that. So here you can bring in data and all of that. So but we are not going to be doing all that. We have successfully installed this database, and it is amazing. So guys, if you found value in this video, please drop your comments. Let us know if this is helpful. Let us know if this is helpful. And if you have any challenges or any projects you're doing on SQL, then you can just drop it as well, and we'll help you look at it and make a video on it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.